Welcome, my friends of the interwebs. This is going to be kind of a special video for me, a video that will be near and dear to my heart. If you know anything about me, you'll understand why when I get into this. I got a couple of messages yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday? Either way, from two of my buddies, interweb buddies, YouTube friends, people I've known for a long time. Anyway, they both contacted me on the same day, basically to thank me for nominating them to be Kentucky Colonels, and they had just received their commissions from the governor's office in Kentucky. Awesome. Congratulations, guys. I'm not going to tell you who they are because I don't want to steal their thunder, because I think they're both going to make videos letting you all know that they're newly minted Kentucky Colonels. But every now and again, I kind of feel the need to make this video. In fact, one of them had asked me, what his responsibilities were at this point as being a Kentucky Colonel. He wanted to know, what he had to do. And so I'll kind of, I do want to say, I don't know that I want to take this video from the very beginning. So I do have videos on this channel and also my Mad Bad Voodoo channel that talks about being a Kentucky Colonel and how you become a Kentucky Colonel and all that stuff. So those of you who are interested in knowing how to become a Kentucky Colonel and what it's all about, please look up those videos. A couple of things. I just wanted to kind of touch on the what's next thing, or once you become a Kentucky Colonel, what's expected of you. And it's simple. I'll tell you exactly what is expected of you. What is expected of you is to continue the good works that you were doing that got you nominated to be a Kentucky Colonel, and then eventually got you actually commissioned a colonel. Whatever it was that you were doing, and I don't know what that may be for a lot of people out there. It's different things. I generally, when I nominate people, usually they're veterans. Especially if they're enlisted personnel. Nothing against the officers, but I love nothing more than making a guy that was a private a colonel. I just do. Now, well, I should say I make. The truth is, you can only become a Kentucky Colonel. You can only be commissioned by the governor of Kentucky. And the certificate that you actually see on this video right now is the actual commission. Mine, of course, is signed by Stephen L. Beshear, who is the current governor of Kentucky. However, whenever you have an official document from Kentucky, if that document has the Great Seal of the Commonwealth, it has to be also signed by the Secretary of State. So when my commission came, the Secretary of State at the time was Trey Grayson. I'm not really sure who the Secretary of State of Kentucky is now, but Trey is no longer the Secretary of State. So anyway, there's the two signatures. You've got the governor's signature, and then you've got because the Secretary of State is the holder of the Great Seal, and nothing becomes official until the Secretary of State actually puts his signature along with the seal. Also, little Kentucky background for you, little Kentucky history, or I don't know how it all works. So anyway, So when you become a Kentucky Colonel, when you're actually commissioned by the governor. You're not really, you don't have official duties per se. If you want to, everybody, I recommend you if you're interested, go to kycolonels.org. kycolonels.org, and there's a lot of really great information on that website as far as what it means to be a Kentucky Colonel and different things like that. That is actually the website for the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels, and once you become a Kentucky Colonel, you're automatically in that organization. You're automatically considered part of the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels. Now, having said that, you're not obligated to do anything with them. They're an organization that kind of, they're kind of the de facto leadership, if you will, and I don't even know if that's really the right way to put it, but they're an organization that makes sure, for example, let me give you an example. I get contacted by Kentucky Colonels all the time wanting to know how they can nominate somebody else to be a Kentucky Colonel, and I always tell them, contact the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels at kycolonels.org and call them and introduce yourself as Colonel whoever, and let them know that you're interested in nominating somebody, and then they will email you the form that you need to fill out, then send, of course, to the governor's office, and then the governor reviews that, and and then either yays or nays it. Either commissions the person or doesn't. But that's kind of one of the functions of the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels, which is kind of cool. They are also a charitable organization. They run a lot of really great charities, and you can get involved with that if you want, but that's not necessary. So basically, once you become a Kentucky Colonel, you really don't have any official duties. When the colonels when the very first Kentucky Colonel was actually the aide-de-camp. In fact, all Kentucky Colonels are considered honorary aide-de-camps to the governor. And the original Kentucky Colonel, the very first colonel, was... God, I can't think of his name. I should know his name, but I can't think of his name. Anyway, he was a military colonel, or commissioned to be a military colonel, wore a military uniform, had a sword and a gun and all that stuff, and he basically was the aide to the governor. Also, the original Kentucky Colonel served as the governor's, basically his bodyguards, I guess, kind of, the Secret Service type of thing, I guess, something like that, for official events and stuff like that. So, but anyway, to answer your question, my good buddy, I hope that does answer your question at least, that you don't really have to do anything other than continue to be awesome, literally. Continue to be awesome. Now, for me, and everybody's different, okay, but for me, being a Kentucky Colonel, I feel like, and there are colonels that will argue this, but I feel like it's my duty to seek out those who are worthy of becoming Kentucky Colonels and then nominating them. So, if you want to follow in my footsteps, seek out people that you believe have that quality, people that you believe would be good Kentucky Colonels, and then nominate them. I will tell you, I have had, in my opinion, I'm batting 1,000. Okay, literally everybody that I've ever nominated to be a Kentucky Colonel, that I know at least, has went on to do some really impressive things. Artisan Tony, he does a lot with charity. Some of you know about his cricket auction. Shun, Kentucky Colonel Shun from Japan, was the first, in fact, I think the only non-U.S. citizen that I ever nominated to be a Kentucky Colonel, and he has made me nothing but proud. Colonel Shun is an amazing man. He raised a lot of money for tornado victims. Actually came and delivered the money that he had raised in Japan personally to the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels. And wow, I was so proud. I was just absolutely so proud of him. Because these are the qualities that make you a Kentucky Colonel. Now listen, every now and again I get my balls busted by some schmuck who doesn't really have a clue, and they usually give me shit about using the title of Colonel. But once you become a Kentucky Colonel, once you're commissioned a Colonel, you have the legal right to use the title of Colonel. And I always tell people, when they bust my balls about it, oh, who do you think you are, blah, 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 blah. I always tell them, look, maybe that's something you ought to take up with the governor of Kentucky, because I'm sure he would be amused at how you feel that he didn't have the right to commission me, or that the people who are commissioned colonels don't have the right to use the title. So, I mean, yeah, the governor will take on that. Please give him a call. The number's easy enough to find. Google it. Yeah, a lot of people get butthurt, though. They don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't understand the history. They just, they don't get it. But you know what? There's always going to be some schmuck that doesn't get it. There's always going to be some hater that's jealous. It's not the easiest thing in the world to become a Kentucky Colonel. I mean, a lot of people think it is, but I dare you. In fact, one guy told me, he goes, anybody can become a Kentucky Colonel. And I said to him, I go, well, I can't wait for your video showing me your commission. It never came. It never happened. So it is what it is, guys. But anyway, listen, congratulations to the new two new Kentucky Colonels. You guys are awesome. If you were not awesome, I would have never nominated you to be Kentucky Colonels. Looking forward to your video where you announced to everybody that you're newly minted. I can't wait to see your commissions. Anyway, that's all I got. No sense in dragging this out any longer. Everybody take care. See ya!